What's up, Parkway Church family, and all those who are our midweek motivationers?
I like it.
Midweek motivators. Midweek That's
Midweek
what I was trying to
motivators.
say, not motivationers. Man, what in the world? Over here creating words and stuff already this morning, man. It's going to be a good show anytime it starts out like that. So I don't know if my dad is watching, but I just got to say this. I'm going to give him a shout out, and I guess it's a shout out. So last week before Midweek Motivation started, I told, I think it was John, I was like, man, I guarantee you as soon as we start the show, my dad is going to call. He was a few minutes early today. He called right before the show started. I was like, man, look at this. He's got the worst timing, but I do love my dad. Hey, welcome to Midweek Motivation. This is just a chance for us to gather and have real conversations with real people about a very, very real God. God dropped this in my spirit several months ago for me to try to do something throughout the week. I promise I'm paying attention to you guys. I'm just trying to see if we actually are live. Yes, we are. Sweet. I love it. But God dropped this in my spirit for us just to have a chance to be transparent, to be real. I see we got John Spencer, Jessica Borden, and two others that Facebook will not show us who are watching. So if you're watching with us, let us know in the chat. If you're on our website, click that Join the Conversation button, and we will be sure to try to give you a shout-out. AJ, good to have you, man. We have you on here almost every week, and I love that. So good to have you. We got Brandon. Brandon, tell everybody hello. I'm stalling a little bit so I can get logged in here. Yeah, there we go. We're in the conversation now. Hit Join the Conversation if you're watching on our website. I did work on the app, could not get it to do a chat, but I'm going to try kind of a workaround for it going forward. I just hadn't had the time this week with several things going on. Pamela, good to have you with us this morning. Do me a huge favor. Number one, let us know in the chat that you are here. Hey, I figured out what SML was last week.
You didn't know?
I did not know.
Well, you're not from here.
Right. They were like, we're watching from SML. I'm like,
Saturday Morning Live.
Like, what is SML? And so, yeah, somebody told me what it was. Smith Mountain Lake. Like, I feel like I'm a part of the in crowd now.
You are.
So go ahead, let us know in the chat that you're here. Maybe where you're watching from, who's watching with you. If you're at lunch, let us know. And then also share this. Share this on your social media outlets and let other people get in on the conversation and the motivation. Oh, that was pretty cool.
Good.
Conversation and the motivation. I didn't even mean to do that. Hey, if you have not already liked our pages, subscribed, followed, whatever it is on whatever account, man, do so that you can be a part of the conversation. We like to be able to chat with you and pull from what you say. And maybe there's something you want to hear about on Midweek Motivation. Let us know in the chat, and we'll bring that up in a conversation the best way that we can. And then also download our mobile app. I failed the past 2 weeks to send out a push notification to remind you that we are live, but I will do it next week when I fix the way that you can chat in the app, and we'll have somebody up here with us on the app paying attention to you in the chat, chatting with you. So thank you guys so much. A few more shout outs. Tanya, we got Cassidy with us, Stacy Lee Turner, Lori Stanley, Stephen Clement, my man. What's up, dude? Several people that are also on with us every week on Sunday morning, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for that. I'm trying to see if we got anybody in the chat on the website. Don't look like it. No worries. We're going to continue on with the show, and so one more thing. Y'all remember Lil Jon? Little John. So the only person to find Little John so far has been Hannah Phillips, right?
Right.
And she got her a free drink from the cafe. We actually started this without Steffi's permission, and then was like, "Hey, can we do that?"
Of course,
and so she was on board. She loves the idea. Be on the lookout for Little John this Sunday. He will be hiding somewhere around the church. If you find him, take him to the cafe. You have to mention Midweek Motivation. You have to mention it.
Yep.
And maybe even mention what we talked about. Mm-hmm. That way, somebody was like, "Hey." On Midweek Motivation, it said little John, and we just wanted to turn him in and get my free coffee. Now let us know. Let us know what we talked about, so that we know that you actually watched Midweek Motivation. So be looking for Little John. And if you're wondering why he's called Little John, we'll have to send you the picture that Cassidy took of Little John and John Spencer together. They kind of have the same comb-over look. Just one goes one way, one goes the other. And Little John has a little more hair than Big John. I did not mean to call him Big John. I did not mean that in a derogatory way. He's bigger than Little John. All right. This is Midweek Motivation. All right, and we're back. Again, we have Steffi Clement with us, and I'm going to let you just kind of share a little bit of what you do in just a moment.
Okay.
But we also have Brandon. Brandon is my life group leader, one of my good friends, family now. We've just extended our more family. And he's also on the board here at our church, serves in a lot of leadership capacities there. And so I just want to say thank you to all of our board members. We have several new ones. I'm not going to take the time to mention them today, but check your e-news. If you don't have your e-news, go ahead. I think it's at the bottom of our website. Put in there, and you can get Parkway e-news. If you're not a part of Parkway, you can still get Parkway e-news too. Steffi, tell us just a little bit, and I'm going to hand the mic to Brandon here because one of the things you do is life groups, but you do so much more here at the church. So I want, for those who maybe aren't a part of Parkway, maybe share just a little bit about your story, and then share kind of what you do, and then maybe you and Brandon can kind of highlight some life groups. And then I got a word that God gave me this morning. I shared it with you. I shared it with Brandon, and I think it's important for kind of what we've been pushing the past couple of weeks, and that is the importance of relationship, of being in groups and doing life together, and as you would say, finding your people. So just share a little bit about what you do here.
Yeah, sure. So I, before coming to Parkway, wasn't necessarily in ministry. I had a regular desk job. I worked in payroll. I loved that job, but I always felt called to ministry, and so it was actually just kind of random that Dustin reached out with an email and was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about being in ministry?" And I laughed because I was like, "Yeah, my entire life I've thought about it." So long process. We just chatted and, interviews, the standard, but came to work here as the women's ministry director and cafe director and a couple other things. But since then have also taken on life groups at Parkway. So I still run the cafe, which is just a blast for me. This is a really fun, and you'll probably judge me for this, but when I was a kid, my only goals in life, don't judge me for this, my only goals in life were to be a cashier. And so I love working at the register. Like the cafe, like you would laugh, but I love it. Like I love quick interactions with people. I love just seeing people, being able to be the reason that they smile. And so like in the cafe, I get to make them a delicious drink and just
Well, you also get to check that off your life goals list too, right?
I'm done. Goals accomplished. So I love being in the cafe. That's such a joy for me. Another fun fact about that is I don't actually drink coffee. Isn't that wild? But I know a lot about coffee, so don't stress if you drink drinks out of the cafe.
She makes a good coffee. I can attest to that.
I love it. It's a ton of fun, but I don't actually drink it. I do get stuff from the cafe, but it doesn't have coffee in it. But yeah, so women's ministry, we have a lot of really awesome stuff happening. Yeah, so Covered Conference is coming up soon. A little plug. We haven't even talked about it a whole lot, but that's on September 30th, and that's our like in-house women's conference. So it's a Parkway women hosted event. People from outside of Parkway are of course welcome to come, but it's just a night for us to. We say for the women, we want them to leave feeling covered with God, like built up and feeling refreshed. That's based off of verse Psalm 91:4. And so we just want you to feel loved. We have food because we love food. We'll have some incredible biblical teaching from Dr. Monica Brennan, who is from Liberty University, and some time of fellowship. We have designated time to actually just chat and talk to the women at your table. So that's going to be awesome. That's Friday, September 30th, Covered Conference. And life groups. I do that too. Love life groups. I think everybody here at Parkway is on the same train as, you know, what Pastor talks about a lot, being the importance of life groups. The way he put it was that that's the one train we have on the track. That's how we do discipleship. That's how you grow deeper in your faith. Of course, there's a lot of things, but at Parkway, the way you're going to find your people, the way you're going to grow deeper in your faith, the way you're probably going to serve together, the way you're going to support people and, you know, actually create friendships is through life groups. So we did just kind of launch life groups. We had the last couple Sundays, we talked about all the new groups because a lot of our new groups are coming back next week, the first week in September. So we had some of I'll show them if you don't mind. We had some of these around, but you can also look on our website under the Connect tab. There's a life group page that has all of our life groups listed. We have a ton of options. We have men's groups, women's groups, family groups that meet in homes like this one. We have groups that meet here at the church on Wednesday nights. We have Sunday morning groups, all kinds of groups. We have we have a biking group, actually. The Pastor Andy is going to start himself. So if you like riding bikes, Pastor Andy is going to head that up. We have a ton of options. There's like a place for everyone to plug in, which is really exciting.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. Pastor said Sunday, I mean, I knew how important life groups were to me, but the stats he gave Sunday, it was the 6 months.
Wow,
and if you haven't got the 6 friends, 1 in 50 stay, but if you do have 6 friends, it's 45.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of blew my mind.
Right.
It really kind of blew my mind. And life groups is the way. All the people in my life groups are dear friends of mine now.
Right.
And I don't know that if I would have joined if I wouldn't have joined life group, if I would have even known these people.
Right.
Other than, you know, saying like, hey, I recognize you from church, and maybe, you know, walking past each other in Walmart, you know, kind of throwing the head nod at them and say, hey, you know, but I mean, all of them are real good friends of mine.
Right. Yeah.
So we're working on getting a third mic, so we don't have to do this awkward transition here.
We can just
yeah. So we're working on that. We had a storm a couple of weeks ago knock out a lot of our equipment. You know, one of the things with life groups, and not just here at Parkway, but I think in general is kind of this phrase that I caught from an organization that we partner with, that we use. We're going to have some new communication tools coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. But their phrase is that they want people to feel known, noticed, and loved.
That's good.
And that's, you know, that should be one of the major goals of the church. Yes,
right.
We need to make disciples. We need to introduce people to Jesus. But I think one of the keys to us as believers, as Christians, is to help other people feel known, to feel noticed, and to feel loved.
Yeah.
And one of the ways to do that is through life groups. And shout out to Brandon here. I'm not going to say it wasn't a little creepy, but when we first got here, I caught my man in my office leaving me a note, which was super cool because Brandon, and this isn't just because I was a staff member. Brandon went above and beyond to make sure that we felt known, noticed, and loved.
Yeah. That
we felt like we could easily find our people. And I'm going to be honest, we did so fast. And I think that has helped us with our transition. Right. And so I want to say that to you, not just in a church setting, but in life in general. You need to find your people. You need to find those people that make you feel known, that you feel like they're listening to what I have to say. Like they are truly there and present with me when I'm having conversations, and I'm noticed.
Yeah.
And I'm loved.
Yeah.
And I think we do a good job. I think you do a good job with our leader huddles and leader rallies in helping all of our leaders, life group leaders, to feel known, noticed, and loved. And then because of your pouring into us, it overflows out of us into our groups. So thank you for that. But one of the things that I think and this hit me this morning, one of the things that I think we often have when it comes to finding our people is we almost feel like people don't want to be our people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you say all the time, find your people. And I wrote a song several years ago, and no, I'm not going to, it's actually, it's a hip-hop song.
Did you know that?
It's a hip-hop song, and I'm not going to rap for you today. But I wrote a song several years ago, and it was kind of on this perspective of what the way we feel inside when we feel like we're not good enough, when we feel like we've messed up, when we're trying to find our people, we often find it hard to show people who we really are. Yeah. And I think that's the importance of life groups and of small groups, to have those people that we can, but we often don't want people to know. We don't want people to find out. We don't think we can let people into our situation, into what we're going through, and oftentimes we're scared that what might happen if we do. What if these people realize I'm not who they see on a Sunday morning, or I'm not who they see in public? And so here's the lyrics that I wrote in this song several years ago. And I think it is so key to kind of getting beyond this place where we feel like we can't have people. And so here's those lyrics. Stuck in a rut, can't seem to grow. Caught in my past and I can't let go. Can't talk about it because no one knows. No one knows what I'm going through. No one knows what I've got to lose. You ever felt that way?
Oh, yeah. That's good.
I mean, that's most of us at any point in our lives. And the title of that song that God gave me is called Dead End Road. And so often we travel down that dead end road. Yeah. We put ourselves down that road because of those things, because of those fears, and we don't even realize that we're the one that drove the car or that walked down that dead end road. And when we get there, we feel hopeless. We feel like there's no one around us. We feel like there's no way out. You ever been down that dead end road?
Yeah. I think, gosh, I feel like anybody who's been in a life group or been in a group or found their people can attest to the fact that they've been there for sure. And even still, once you find your people, sometimes there's parts of you that are still hard to share. But gosh, like the freedom that comes from releasing and being able to actually be with your people. And I was just talking about this with a friend yesterday of like my time with her just filled me up. Like I felt refreshed because I could just share with her what was really going on in my life and not feel judged, because you know there's a level of accountability that's there with,
and that's key, accountability,
somebody who's
so
in the trenches with you and going through the same thing and is a believer and is going to hold you to a standard. But just being with her, I walked away feeling so refreshed because she was my people. Like she knows me. She knows all of that junk that I feel like I can't necessarily share everywhere, but she knows. And just being able to hear me out was refreshing and, gave me a lot of freedom. Yeah.
And, I think about like that physical dead end road. Like, especially for me, there's been some roads that I've gone down in Roanoke that I wish I would not have gone down.
Okay.
And sometimes you get to the end, it's like, where do I go? And it's creepy.
Yeah.
Like not knowing where your next move is going to be. And when you're in those unfamiliar territories by yourself, you often lock the door.
Yeah.
And you don't let anybody in.
Yeah.
And you don't know what your next move is.
Yep.
And locking the door is not what you need to do. Yes, maybe on them actual physical roads, but on your spiritual journey, when you hit that dead end road, you can't lock the door.
Yeah, that's good.
You got to unlock the door.
That's good.
Brandon, you got something you want to share on it?
So, to me, I mean, before I got into life groups, and you guys know how when you turn down that dead end road, like before you make that turn, there's a sign there that says dead end, right?
Yeah.
And, before I got into life groups, I saw that sign that said dead end. I turned down that road anyway. Just like, hey, maybe there is a way out down here. There wasn't, you know. So now with my life group, the people, you know, even Carly has a friend who's going through some stuff back from where he's from in North Carolina, you know, and they needed some prayers. Carly reached out to our prayer group, our life group, and just said, hey, you know, you guys mind praying? And everybody in our life group just went down like, hey, praying now. We do those type of things all the time. So now for me, when I see that dead end road, you know, I just keep on driving because I know there's no way out down there. So
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. And actually, in that song that I wrote, that's one of the things that I said is like we ignore the signs. We ignore the signs telling us that we're going down the dead end road. And so, number one, don't ignore those signs that are telling you stop. There's no outlet. It's a dead end road. But if you find yourself down that dead end road, understand that there are people, your people, that can come alongside you, unlock the door, let them in, and let them guide you back to the main thing, back to the main road. Call for help. Call for somebody to come and get in. Let someone in with you. Find your people. And, you know, that takes us all the way back to the beginning. And this hit me so hard this morning, especially the second verse I'm going to read. But in Genesis 1:26, God said, let us. He didn't say let me.
Yeah.
He said, let us make human beings in our image, not in my image, to be like us, not to be like me. So even in the beginning, God knew the importance of not being by yourself, not being lonely. He didn't say let me. He didn't say make them in my image. He said make them in our image. Even God knew it wasn't good to be alone. In fact, in Genesis 2:18, he said it's not good for man to be alone, so he made him a helper. So often we use this verse in terms of a husband and wife. It's so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
God knew that man could not make it alone. And so he said, I got to give you your people.
Right.
I got to give you somebody to help you. He didn't say I'm giving you a wife. He said I'm giving you a helper.
Yep.
And God has given us all helpers. And thank God for a church, for a pastor, for a leader, for small group leaders who believe in finding your people. He made someone for us to do life together. And so I say, find your people. Understand this, you are not stuck in a rut. You're not stuck in your past. You're not hung up by your past. And you're not locked in your car on a dead-end road by yourself. After today, you have no excuse to not find your people. It's in Scripture for us to find our people. You can talk about it.
Yep.
You just need to find your people.
Yep. And I want to put a little challenge on it too. This is something we were talking about the other day, but you know, we are so blessed right now at Parkway to have an incredible team of leaders.
Absolutely.
And a whole bunch of life groups that are ready and doing life together and want you to be a part of it, but we can't make you do it.
Yeah.
You know, we're here and we want to rally around you and we want to be your people. And we want to have your back in those tough times. But like we're talking about, if you're stuck in this dead-end road, you're going to have to at least unlock the door.
Absolutely.
So if it takes you that one step to unlock the door, in this case, find a group. Maybe even just shoot me an email. You don't even have to sign up yet. Just shoot me an email and say, I know I need community. Can you help me find one? I will be so happy to do that.
Yeah.
Any of us would be happy to do that. But you do have to take that step. You do have to take that step.
Yep, it's on you. The ball is in your court, but we want to come alongside you.
Yep, that's
Heck,
right.
I want to be your people.
Yeah.
I think all of us will be your people.
Yeah.
We want you to have your people, because the thing is, the enemy wants you to feel alone.
Yeah.
The enemy wants you to be on that dead end road and feel helpless, and that's why it is so important for you to find your people, for you to get in community, for you to do life together. Yeah. So a couple of things, just I noticed we're getting kind of close to time here. So a couple of things that I think we need to highlight, and then, of course, if you guys want to add to it, we certainly can. First off, don't go through it alone. Whatever your it is, big, small, whatever it is, don't go through it alone.
Yeah.
And then the second thing, don't just go through it. I said this in young adults the other day. Don't just go through it, but grow through it.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
One, don't go through it alone. And then when you get in your community with your people, all of you guys grow through it.
Grow through it, yeah.
There's stories and testimonies of what is taking place through life groups. We saw it on the video that you shared when we were kicking it off. And I know you got stories upon stories of how people decided, I'm not just going to go through this, but I'm going to grow through this with my people.
Yeah.
And so that's your steps. Don't go through it alone, whatever the it is. And don't just go through it. Grow through it with your people, whatever it is.
Yep.
Instead, let's grow together through whatever our it is.
That's good.
Find your people.
Find your people.
Yeah, Karen said it's scary the first time you go, but it'll be so worth going, and that is so true.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm a people person, but the first time we were going to your small group, like, we honestly had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
But once we got there, we instantly felt like we had people.
Yeah.
And I want to say this as well. Maybe you try a small group, a life group out, and you realize it's not your people.
Yeah.
That is okay.
Right.
Find your people. Don't just check off a box. Pastor said I need to join a life group, so I joined a life group,
Right.
and I hate it.
And I hate it. Yeah.
And if you hate it, then that's not your people,
Yeah.
and you're going to end up more isolated in a room full of people than if you would have just found another group.
Yeah.
So
We talk about that a lot with the leaders, and just how, there is this weird stigma. I don't even know where it comes from, but this weird stigma of, okay, well, I signed up for this group and these are not my people, and so now I can't be in one. I'm just going to leave my name on the roster, but I'm not going to go, and I'm also not going to go anywhere else. Like, we as a team of leaders are all on the same team. Like,
Absolutely.
This is God's house.
Yes.
The groups are not, I don't know what the word is, but worried about their own. They're worried about the church. We're worried about God's kingdom, which is even bigger than our walls. So if a group doesn't work out for you, like, your leader's okay with you telling them that. It's okay if you're like, hey, I just, this isn't really feeling right. This isn't where I don't think God wants me necessarily here. You guys are awesome, but I think I need a different day of the week. I think I need a different schedule. I think I'm way too young or way too old for this group, and all of that is okay. Like, we're going to help you find the group that works for you, and it's okay to do that.
One of the things that I said when I first became a pastor, and some of the people in the area where I was pastoring at before I came here kind of blew their minds.
Yeah.
Because I would tell people when they would visit my church, I'd say, give us 4 weeks, and if you feel like this isn't the church for you, let me know, and I'll help you find one.
I'll help you find one, yeah.
Because we're not, you're not about just making your life
Right.
group the biggest life group
No.
there is. You're not about making your life group the best. I'm a little partial to it,
Yeah.
but you're not about
It is
making
good,
it. You're
but
not
yeah.
about making it the best. I'm not about making young adults the best, but what I am about is helping people find their people.
Right.
Find God, have real conversations, and have real authentic relationships.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. People
Right.
want to be known, noticed, and loved. And when
Yeah.
they feel that way, then you're their people, and then they're going to listen to what you have to say about their relationship with God.
Right.
And then you'll be able to have those accountability conversations, those
Yeah.
real conversations where otherwise they wouldn't listen to
Yeah.
you because they didn't even know you knew
Then-
them.
yeah.
They're just like, man, who's this person trying to talk to me?
Yeah.
Get that relationship with them, and then they'll hear you out. And so I say to you today, as we're getting ready to kick off our life groups next week.
Yep. Next
Wow,
week.
man, I'm so excited about it. Get in a life group, but don't feel like you're stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
Talk with us, and we'll help you find the right one. And I don't think any leader is going to be upset with you wanting to
No.
find the
Yeah.
one that is for you, because there is. Yeah, Brandon says he had it happen.
I've had we had a couple who had the parents and the couple were our age, they were part of our life, but they had some older children, and they came up and they said, it's not working out for us because we want our kids to be involved in it as well, and our group has kids basically 10 and under. For the most part, we have to speak pretty loud during our life group because downstairs where our kids are playing, it gets a little rambunctious down there. But I said, hey, no problem, and we got them in touch with the life group leaders at the time and helped them find their spot. And I think they're still there thriving now.
That's
So
awesome.
I mean, it's and I just want to say too, as being a life group leader, I thought I had this hugely important role when I was asked to be a life group leader, and it's probably the least important role in our life group. I mean, all I do is just come up with a lesson plan. You know, the people in our life group, you guys out there, are the ones that really make this life group thing possible.
That's good.
Yeah, that's and thank you to all of our life group leaders,
Yeah.
but also thank you to all those that are in a life group.
Yep.
Because that's what makes it
Yeah.
a life group, because
Right.
we are literally doing life together. So the thing I want you to know is, let's go through it together. Let's grow through it together. And if you're ready to do life together, go to our website, parkwayroanoke.com, and you can go to the Connect tab, click Life Groups.
Yep.
Get some more information. Reach out to us. Let's find our people, and let's do life together. Hey, be on the lookout for Little John. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. If you have not already done so, go ahead and like, follow, subscribe on whatever channel you're on, and share this. Let's motivate people to find their people. Hey, Steffi and Brandon, thank you guys so much for being with us today. And this has been Midweek Motivation.